This is Mr. S, and this is the second part of lesson 3.2. And you just did the simulation. The instructions are here to simulate what the population of buffaloes would do over time under controlled circumstances, right? So we're just basically replicating what will happen in nature if a certain amount of buffaloes were in a certain space, and to see how the population would change if nothing else happened, right? And so basically what we saw when we did this net logo run, and what you should have seen, is that the population went up and something happened to where it eventually stabilized, okay? So we call this carrying capacity. And this is a really important term for you to know for this class and for the end of unit tests and all. Carrying capacity is the amount of organisms that can live in a certain place. The amount of organisms that can live in a certain place. So if you have a population size and you have the amount of time, any kind of animal in nature will usually grow in population in a new environment, and then it'll eventually level out. And this is your carrying capacity. It's just how many animals can live in the environment in one time. So make sure that you understand that, and be thinking about what is affecting the carrying capacity of the buffalo in this example. So if we go to your worksheet, we left off here where you took observations of what happened when you ran this simulation. Remember, if it didn't work for you, or if you're still struggling with that simulation, ask at least 3 classmates and then come to me and we'll review it. But once you've gone through and made your observations and answered the making sense questions, then you're going to have your first mastery check again. So this question, I would use this space to write your ideas out. And then basically this question and question 18 you're going to turn into the mastery check bin in class. And then I'm going to make sure that you understand this lesson before you move on to the next lesson. So you're going to be thinking about, how is the idea of carrying capacity related to the outcomes observed in this model? So basically, what about this model is showing you carrying capacity? We just talked about it a bit when we looked at the graph of how the population grew and stabilized, and what were the things that went into that. So try to use examples from the simulation. Then you'll go down here and you're going to run another investigation on the simulation. The link was above. So make a prediction of what will happen if you change the ecosystem so that there's less space where grass is growing and a different amount of rain. So if you started with 10 buffalo again, but reduced the amount of grassland to 70% of the space that growing grass in the previous investigation before, that was growing grassland in the previous investigation before, how do you think that would affect the carrying capacity, remember keyword, for buffalo in the ecosystem? An image of the model set up with this change is shown to the right. Okay, so basically, if you started with 10 buffalo but reduced the amount of grasslands by 70%. So we're looking at the center region, and so we're going to take it to 70% of the grass. That's what's happening here. Once you change that amount of grass, you're going to press, this will speed it up, but you can press setup reset. So we'll start it over again with the new less grass that it has, and then press go. Remember, we've speeded up here, and then you're going to describe what's happening on this graph over until 1,000 ticks or so. And you can speed it up all the way so you can really see what happens to the graph over time. Okay, then it's asking you, if you increase the rainfall across the region, how do you think that would affect the carrying capacity for buffaloes? So this is just asking you, this is a prediction. So just what do you think would happen? Then we're going to do the last investigation. So adjust the percent grassland for the central region to 80. Just like we did before. We'll take it to 80 now. And set up, go. Keep the model running until the time here gets to 2000. So you will want it to go full speed. And then change the seasonal rains and the buffalo fences settings as shown below for the second experiment, and repeat the last 3 steps, recording the carrying capacity in the second column below. Do this again for the third column below, but turn the buffalo fences off before pressing setup. Use the fourth column to record discoveries from any additional investigations you conduct. So basically, you are going to just set these parameters and then record how many buffalo happen after 15,000 to 2,000 ticks. So for example, the first is 80% grasslands, buffalo fences, and seasonal rain. So grasslands 80%, and then it's asking buffalo fences and seasonal rains. So we added seasonal rains there. Buffalo fences. Oh, seasonal rains, no, excuse me. On this one, no seasonal rains. So now you're good to go. So you'll run that till it hits 2,000. The second one, it's the same, except this time you're going to run it with seasonal rains and see what happens on the graph after 2,000 ticks. And then you're going to go to the third option. And you're going to have no buffalo fences, and you're going to have seasonal rains. Okay? And then we'll see how that affects the number of buffaloes. And then you'll just record them each time. Okay? And then the fourth column is any other things that you want to do. So that's up to you. When you're done with that, you have that second part of the mastery check. So you can write your notes here. But you're going to want to write both 15 and 18, both of the mastery checks, on another piece of paper so that you can submit it in the mastery check bin in the classroom. And these are what you'll be graded on. You have to achieve 80% to move on to the next lesson for these mastery checks. So I'm just making sure that you understand this, and if it wasn't clear and you're not able to complete these, then we'll just go over them until you are, and then you'll submit those. And then finally, there's a few questions for you to reflect on, and you'll update your incremental modeling tracker, which is the description of each lesson in your notes before moving on to the next lesson. All right, work with your classmates. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.